Just listen to them.
Right. What did he say?
Didn't understand a thing, but he is a native speaker. Yeah, sometimes it can be difficult to get what English speakers say, but don't worry. In this video, I'll share some tips which will help you easily understand natives without placing yourself in an awkward position. So let's not waste time anymore and get down to business. You've probably heard such a term as the language barrier, which means the fear of speaking a foreign language. However, few teachers mention that there is also a listening barrier, poor understanding of oral communication. What is the cause of this obstacle and how to overcome it? It is impossible to learn to draw just by watching people drawing. You need to grab a pencil and a piece of paper and start drawing yourself. And it is similar to learning languages. How to understand English without making any effort? Definitely you should move from theory to practice, from words to actions. Listen to audio tutorials, podcasts, songs. Watch movies and TV series in English. The most vital thing is to choose a gripping, interesting material for yourself. Try to arouse interest in yourself, try to love listening, then it will be much easier to do it. Another important tip is to practice regularly. For example, it's a great idea to watch movies or TV series in the original, with or without subtitles. Keep in mind that you should choose a movie that suits your current level of English.
11! 11! 11!
If you're only a beginner, start with simple cartoons, TV series or children's movies like Friends, Finding Nemo, Shrek. However, if you understand more than 80% of the dialects between characters, it may be too easy for you, and thus you won't derive any benefits from doing this. So choose films like Pirates of the Caribbean or The Chronicles of Narnia. After some time, you can rewatch the same movie, but this time without subtitles. Rewatch your favorite movies or TV series and replay your favorite moments. The more you rewatch, the more you can focus on the speech, because you already know the plot, the characters, and what is happening in every scene. So instead of focusing your attention on what is happening, you can allocate your attention to what you hear. If you don't have time to rewatch these films or TV series, then listen to the podcasts. If you devote at least 20 minutes daily to listening to various audio recordings, after some time you'll see the progress. Obviously, the time depends on your abilities and the presence of a musical ear. The second thing is to expand your vocabulary. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
This is your captain speaking.
Yeah, I know that it won't be new to you, but the larger your vocabulary, the easier it is for you to perceive speech. You won't be able to understand native speakers until you have a decent vocabulary. Pay special attention to colloquial vocabulary, abbreviations, shortenings. For example, do it ASAP. If you don't know the full version of the abbreviation ASAP, it will be impossible to get the meaning of the word. Do not forget to learn idioms and slang expressions. They are often used in spoken English and will be useful to you while watching modern movies or TV series. And obviously speaking with native speakers. Slang words add brightness to your speech. Imagine a white canvas with colorful paint brushes. So these strokes will be the slang words. Knowing slang words and expressions will help you better understand what people are saying. Let's have a look at the expression containing British slang. For example, plastered. What do you think the word plastered means? If you're a Spanish speaker, you might think that it is similar to the word aplastado, crushed or squashed. Or if you're a German speaker, you might think that this word is similar to the German word das Pflaster, and it may mean a person who has a plaster on his or her leg or arm. However, it has nothing to do with it. You may hear, "Oh, my friend was so plastered that he even missed morning classes at uni," which really just means very drunk. Yeah, my friend was so drunk that he even missed morning classes. The next thing is to improve your pronunciation. Some students say that pronunciation isn't important, as you'll be easily understood by everyone if you don't pronounce words like a native. What really matters is having good command of English, knowing grammar rules, having extensive vocabulary. Well, definitely you can be understood even with a heavy accent in a language, but usually only after the listener has become used to the way you speak.
Right. What did he say?
And let's be honest, it's very unlikely that your grammar and choice of vocabulary are perfect. And if we add to this mixture pronunciation problems, native speakers will have to make some efforts to understand what you want to say. What is more, improving one's pronunciation will lead to improved listening ability. If you learn to pronounce words correctly, then it will be easier to recognize them in someone's speech. When learning a new vocabulary, open an online dictionary and listen several times to how the word is pronounced. Try to copy the accent of a native speaker.
I don't even know what that means.
Now that you know how to pronounce the word correctly, it won't be so difficult to learn it. It is also a good idea to read aloud subtitles and copy the speech patterns like the pronunciation, the intonation, stresses, pauses of the speaker. And finally, don't use the same materials. What I mean here is that you shouldn't watch or listen to the same variant of English all the time. For example, you found a cool TV show in English on YouTube and you watch it every day. Very soon you'll get used to the voice of the presenters and will understand them without any problems. But as soon as you start watching something different, you may immediately have problems with speech perception. English is such a diverse language. There is British English, American English, Canadian, Australian, just to name a few. Besides, it's the most spoken language in the world, with almost 2 billion people being able to speak it. This means that you are more likely to speak with a non-native English speaker than with a native English speaker. There will be times when you find yourself struggling to understand a person's accent or dialect, and if you haven't been exposed to different accents and dialects, you might have trouble understanding people. So try to choose different podcasts, films, series with different accents and dialects as often as possible, so as not to get used to one variant of English. As you can see, the reasons for the listening barrier are quite banal, and tips for getting rid of it are quite easy to apply. Choose the most suitable recommendation for you on how to learn to understand English speakers and apply them in practice, as practice makes perfect. Try to speak English as often as possible during your English lessons with your teacher, when communicating with classmates or colleagues. In this way, you'll improve your perception of live speech and at the same time destroy the language barrier. After all, every person sounds differently. Everyone has his own accent and manner of pronunciation. If you are still trying to find a course or a teacher to master your English, you can take a couple of private lessons with us in our online school English with Net. Check the link to our Instagram in the description below and write to us right away if you have any questions. See you in the next video. Bye!